So, this is it, folks. All things come to an end, and some things come to an end sooner than others. And the Hyperloop is absolutely one of those things that everyone could see coming to an end very, very early on. So, Elon Musk's proposed Hyperloop 1 is shutting down after failing to reinvent transit. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with what Hyperloop is, essentially the idea was it would be a vacuum sealed tube which would eliminate like friction, and then like you could like it would just zoom like personalized cars around uh on this track, but basically trying to be both car and train, because the idea was essentially you wouldn't have to interact with other people. You could just get into your little pod and be like shimmied across to wherever your destination is. But like, obviously that doesn't work very well for a number of reasons. Like, for example, vacuum sealing hundreds of miles of tube, actually very hard. Also, turns out if you vacuum seal a tube, you also have to have a vacuum sealed capsule inside to shunt people around in. And that's actually quite hard to do without, like, presenting a huge existential threat to your passengers. Additionally, it's just so brain dead. And it's energy inefficient. Like, it's just a terrible idea. At a certain point, just have maglev trains. Just build a maglev train. It's faster. It allows more people to get to where they want to go. And it's more energy efficient than vacuum sealing like hundreds of miles of tube. Hey, Fox of Fate. Why does it need to be vacuumed? To reduce like the air resistance. It's like I believe the idea. And it's just like, of course this was gonna fail. Of course it was gonna fail. It, like, essentially, Hyperloop for years was the monorail guy from The Simpsons. And people would not stop riding Elon Musk's dick about it. And like, it's just a bad idea. Like on basically every level, like safety, efficiency, speed. Like, we have better options. And of course, many people are now wondering, well, why did Elon Musk do that if it's such a bad idea? Well, he did it for one reason and one reason only, and that's because he hates public transit. He doesn't want more public transit because it allows dirtier, poorer people to rub shoulders with people who are wealthy, and that's terrible in his view. You know, or just build a train. I'd be happy with a normal train. I'd be happy with normal trains too. In America, I just want like modern trains in America. Is that so hard to ask? Like, just we could have, like, if we invested in building a rail network, we could just have maglev trains instead of airplanes. You could just get to where you want to go far more efficiently without all the carbon emissions by just shooting a levitating train across the country. That's cool. That's such a cool idea. We put people on the fucking moon 60 years ago. Why can't we have the floating trains? But now, some people in the Elon-verse are trying to make the argument that, oh, Elon Musk didn't just invest in Hyperloop because he was trying to stop public transit. And I need to all remind you of the book that was put out about Elon Musk. Here's the author in 2022 saying some interesting stuff. This is from last year. It's been a decade and Elon Musk is still pushing Hyperloop fantasies to dampen support for high-speed rail, an actually existing solution that works perfectly well in many countries around the world. So, screenshot. Boston to New York could be 1 hour, smooth, frequent train ride from downtown to downtown. People would routinely go to lunch in each other's cities, do some business, and be back home by dinner. The economic value unleashed would be staggering. And then Elon Musk, again, in 2022, like a year ago, Hyperloop could do that trip in less than half an hour. Like, he's trying to, like, get people to invest in his dog shit company by trying to be like, oh, well, Hyperloop could do that trip in a half hour. Yeah, it's twice as good. And it's not twice as good if it's not practical or implemented on any level of scale. It's not. It's actually 0% good. As I explained in my book, Elon Musk admitted to his biographer that he only announced Hyperloop because he wanted California's high-speed rail system to get canceled. Even though he's lauded for innovation, he's constantly trying to stifle any efforts to get people out of cars. Because again, he sells cars. Elon Musk's real contribution, stifling alternatives to car dependence. Quote, he admitted to his biographer that the reason the Hyperloop was announced, even though he had no intention of pursuing it, was to try to disrupt the California high-speed rail project. Like, literally, he only did it to prevent the United States government from investing in rail. We could have high-speed rail and maglev trains, except we have dipshit billionaires who are like, but I need to sell cars, and I don't want to be near dirty pores. And because they're billionaires, because our system is not a meritocracy, just dipshits with a lot of money are able to bend the entire system to their whim and essentially deny the public good because it would kind of inconvenience them. Hypothetically, if Elon Musk wasn't riding in limousines all the time, if Elon Musk wasn't riding in his personal cars all the time, it would hypothetically inconvenience him, and that is justification enough for him to drop, $2 to $5 billion faking a project instead of just investing in public infrastructure. God. I want my own superpod costing millions and selling my cars for the lower class. Everyone else can die. They are losers. I heard rumors of this a while ago, but I guess now he just comes out and says it. Why not when he's rewarded for arrogance? Well, the thing is, like, I think he said a lot of things to his biographer that he didn't ever expect to, like, be put out in public, and, like, his biographer has just been extremely cutthroat about not cutting the embarrassing bits, which I'm here for. The same thing happened with Bill Gates undermining education. Yeah, GamerG, I've talked about this on stream before. Like, Bill Gates is just a billionaire. Does Bill Gates have any expertise when it comes to education? No. But he got it in his head that education should be reformed as he saw fit. And basically the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation began offering grants for schools that would change their curriculums to meet his standards and, like, do the things that he wanted schools to do. And schools changed their curriculums and standards, and wouldn't you know it, it messed up all of our American education system. Like a billionaire can just have a bad idea And all of us have to shoulder the burden of that bad idea simply because people will kowtow to money. God. Do you write D&D campaigns? Yes. Haven't for a while, but I have. I've written multiple settings and campaigns. Pew, pew, pew. Also, if any of you want like a masterclass in how to write a D&D campaign, there's a fourth edition adventure called Keep on the Shadowfell. It's an intro adventure for like levels like 1 through 4, and it's I think one of the tightest like short intro campaigns to D&D that like exists. It's really really good. That completely derailed my train of thought.